And also, Esther, that was like the best explanation of APIs I've ever heard in my life. So that's a very, very good presentation. Thank you, Esther. So yeah, so my journey is actually very interesting because I don't come from a technical background. So I didn't do computer science in school. So I studied quantity surveying. So quantity surveying is a branch of civil engineering for those that don't know what it is. So back then I used to have this should I call it main character? So I was like in 200 level, I was like, I want to build something that will help quantity surveyors globally to enhance our operations. So that was what I had in mind. So back then there's not ChatGPT, and so I had to like Google search things to do or how to go about it. So I discovered that I needed to learn some things because I was going to build something, build software. So I found out that I needed to learn Java and some other things. So I had to like download these PDFs, like guides in Java. So I was reading coding. I was reading how to code in PDF. So it was really very, very. It took a lot actually because unlike now that we have like some other tools readily available, I had to like learn it the hard way, and I didn't really have a mentor. Okay, so that way Tech Crush comes in for those of you that are on the call right now. It was really like a lot, very, very stressful for me since I didn't really have like a mentor. So I'm self-taught, so I had to like go through the stress, and I basically learned by failure. Like I'll fail, and fail until I get it right. So, but I think one defining point for me was in 2020. So we had this lockdown, COVID-19, and all of that. So these guys in my school, like we used to call them ritualists at the time because they're living so well. So like, what are the guys doing? Like they're living so well. So I heard that these guys are like they're working for tech companies remotely and they're making good money. So I was like, here I am trying to build a software that will change my industry. I don't know if it will work out, and people are using the same skills to like make good money like online. So that's where build any software again. I just wanted to make good money. Like I want to do what they are doing. So that's where that was it for me. Like that was the new goal I had. So I wouldn't really say it was a love of money, but I would say it was like I wanted to chase quality life because I wanted to do what those guys were doing. So I had to like intensify learn the learning process. I went online. That's when I found out about Flutter. I had to do my research and find like the frameworks that were in demand that companies were hiring for both globally and here in Nigeria. So I started learning Flutter. And yeah, that's when the process started. So it took a while, but at some point, I think that's where it started. But before I could finish from school and get my results and all of that, I was able to get like my very first job offer even before like I could go for NYSC. So it was that good actually. That's where my whole career started, and it's really been very, very, very nice. So but one issue that I had, like a challenge I had was that I didn't really have a mentor, so it took me more time to learn some things. Like I said, I learned through failures. So if I had like a mentor back then, I think I would have learned a whole lot faster and to have been less stressful. So that's one very, very important point. So if you're going to do this, I would advise you that you must have like a mentor. That way Tech Crush comes in, like someone to hold you by the hand, because it's some people can be self-taught, but to take you more time. If I'm being honest, it take you more time if you're doing it all by yourself. And the second thing was I didn't really have a community. So just me. So like I think some of my posts online like so you build stuff. So learn to like collaborate with me and build something together. So they sent me like their Figma designs, but back then I didn't even know how to use Figma. So that was a very big issue because I wasn't really keeping up with the industry trends. I was just learning at my own pace, learning anything I could learn. So that kind of like slowed down my skill level. So that's the two things. So you need a community, like people that are learning the same thing as you, and also a mentor. Okay, so that's like two very, very important points to note back there. Then another thing is I also advise that you should be very, very particular about the skill, like the paths we are going for. And that tech is very broad. Like there's mobile, there's even mobile, there are different parts. Okay, maybe no one has mentioned it yet, but mobile. So initially I started out with Android native. So Android native basically is you're building for the Android OS. So you're building just for Android apps. Okay. So there's also iOS development. There's Flutter, that's cross-platform. That's what I do. So we build for Android, iOS, web, desktop. So yeah, there are different parts of it. So I think very specific about the parts. For me, I had to like do a lot of research to know okay, where's the world headed, what are companies looking for globally before I started learning the skill because I don't want to be in the market where no one is buying and I'm selling that thing. So I want you to do your research very well. Okay. And people are saying it's cliche, this is the AI age, this is the AI age. But you need to like do your research. Okay, go on LinkedIn, okay, attend conferences, know what's going on so that you can know the skill to chase, skill to like invest your time in. So that's pretty much it. But it has been very, very good. Initially for me, it was really about maybe good pay and quality life, but it's really more than that. When you start working like in the industry, you discover that the exposure is very, very important. Getting to work with people from other races, getting to collaborate with people in other countries. No, it's really amazing. Okay, it will just change the whole view about tech and about life in general. So I can tell you for free, this is something like this is like a step in the right direction. For those of you that are on the call right now, it's a step in the right direction. Personally, for me, I always like make jokes with my friend. He's also into tech. I used to tell him that I really wonder what we would have been doing right now if we didn't like learn these things back then. So I can assure you that this is a step in the right direction, and you just have to be determined. For me, I just had what I had in my mind was these guys that are living very well. I want to be like them. Okay, I had this picture in my head, and that was it for me. So I don't know why you're going into tech for those of you that are on the call, but I want to have that picture always in your head, in your mind, like this is why I'm doing this. I believe that will be what will propel you to keep pushing because you really have to be resilient. There are times that you'll be very frustrated. I think Adefola mentioned something about that. You'll be frustrated. Like it's part of the journey. You'll be frustrated at some point. But you have to be very resilient because I can tell you that it's worth it. It's totally worth it. So that's really it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, Joseph. That was very detailed.
Welcome.
I could feel that coming from your heart, particularly when you mentioned that but still you pointed that as something that helped you. It could have been better.
So I think you're breaking up. I think you're having some network issues.
I think we can give it a few minutes. Hopefully, she'll join shortly.
Hi, Faith. Just react if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, thank you very much, Akan. Yeah, so thank you, Joseph. I was basically saying that one of the things that you definitely get access to here is mentorship. Definitely, you have access to tutors, but beyond that, I'll still remind everyone of what has been said. Beyond just mentorship, you also need to have this personal drive to achieve what you've come in here to achieve, right? It's not going to be your mentor is not going to do everything for you. You're not going to be they're going to push you, but maybe not literally. You're going to have to do that work by yourself. And like Akan said earlier, it's very important for you to not lose your curiosity. That's one of the things that will help you to be at the top of your game, helps you to stay top tier, just like you said. So this is an opportunity. If you get it, if you're able to get the scholarship, it's one opportunity that will help you to have a very good foundation in your tech career. But beyond that, you also have to be ready to push, to learn more, to be better in this skill that you've decided to learn. So I hope that has helped you to learn something. Yeah, before we move on to favor now, I'll just have Joseph come up again. So while Folarin was speaking earlier, he mentioned a lot about when he started, there weren't so many opportunities in mobile development. I'm very sure that it's much more different now. So I just want you to share, particularly with beginners, what would you say are some of the things that employers look out for, when people are done with mobile development and they're trying to get a job or maybe an internship. So what would you say will help them to actually stand out, apart from things that we've mentioned here, maybe something from your own personal experience that can actually help beginners to stand out while seeking mobile development opportunities?
Okay. Thanks. That's a very good question. So first of all, I didn't say that when I started there weren't jobs. Maybe you didn't hear me clearly. I didn't say there weren't jobs. Um, so when I started learning mobile development, I
Yeah,
started out
yeah, sorry.
Android.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I was actually making reference to Folarin. I actually didn't quote him, but he said something similar to probably there weren't so many opportunities when he started. So I was making reference to that.
Okay, okay. Okay, so back to your question. And I'm gonna use my story as an example. So the very first job I had, it was an educational product, it was a mobile app for, I think, for people that do home lesson, can onboard teachers and students. So I applied to the company, but I didn't even at the time. No, I sent out a lot of applications, so I didn't even check their products. But luckily for me, in my portfolio, like I'd built something very similar to what they were building. So I just did like a template, like an app that you could something very similar to Udemy, yeah, but on a way smaller scale. So you can log into the app and you can take courses. So when they saw that I was building something very similar to what they were building, I think that piques your interest. Like, this person should be good for this job. So they reached out, talked, and that's how I landed my first job. So what I'm trying to say, I'm saying that if you are looking forward to landing these roles, you must have a very good portfolio. A very good portfolio. And I'm not going to lie to you, unlike before, maybe around 2020, it's okay, the market is kind of a lot more competitive right now. Okay. Let me speak in English. Not really use a bit better in the way people are saying that there's money in tech. So people are running into the tech. So you're not the only one that's running into tech. So since the pool is full of a lot of people, you have to like stand out, do something that make you stand out. So you should have a lot of projects. So don't wait till you get your first job offer before you start building stuff. Start building stuff from now. So as you're learning, build stuff, like, and build noteworthy stuff, not just maybe calendar app or something, or try to like build something that's significant, something that would wow your employers. Okay, so that's something that's very important. Make sure you have portfolio. And also, I think there's some other things, but I think that's the most important one, because once they see that you have a portfolio, they can see that you already have like an idea of what they're trying to build. Because if, let's say, for example, you're an employer and you have like an app, for example, and you see someone that already built something similar, you that will pique your interest. So make sure you have a portfolio. And I think that's like almost 60-70%, because once they see that you have a portfolio, it's almost like they know this person has the experience, and you can back, like, when they ask you questions about the portfolio, you can actually like give them answers to show that you're going to build this stuff. From there, I think it's just easy. So that's something that's very, very important, and you should take notes. Thank you.
All right, Joseph. Thank you. Yeah. So I think one more question that I would want to ask before we move now. So would you say, because you mentioned something about when one is starting out, there are different aspects of mobile development. So can you just speak briefly on those things? And when one is just starting out as a mobile developer, would you advise them to niche down from the start? Or, I mean, it's very important to explore, to try out different things and all. But which would you recommend best to someone who is just starting out um, in their career?
Sorry, I didn't get the last part of your question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think our network is broken again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Please, what was the question?
Yes, yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I was asking for the question. I didn't get the question you asked. I can't get the question.
No, it was breaking here too, so I didn't really hear it. Or if someone heard it, you can please send it in the comments or something. Hi guys, sorry about this break. For a lot of you that will get into um serious tech jobs, hopefully remote jobs is one of the issues you face in meetings. Nigerian network will disappoint you on your brightest day. Promise you.
Okay, am I audible now, please?
Yeah, to an
Yeah, you are.
extent.
All right, thank you. Apologies, please. It's raining here and the network is quite unfavorable tonight. Sorry about that. So I was basically asking Joseph, when it comes to starting out in mobile development, you mentioned earlier that there are different aspects to it. So I asked that you kindly break that down to help beginners, so people who do not really have an idea of what everything entails, so they can understand better. And when it comes to learning mobile development, I asked what you would advise mobile developers to do. Would you say they should niche down right from the start, or they can, of course, still explore? And in your experience, what sectors would you recommend as best for beginners to start out with?
Okay, thank you for that question. Um, okay, so mobile development. I think someone else mentioned it. So basically, you are building for the app that will run on these mobile devices. So globally, the smartphone market is just two OSs, use that word, operating systems. That's Android and iOS. So these are the two systems that companies usually like build apps for to serve their customers. So Android and iOS. Now in Android and iOS, there's already like an infrastructure to build for Android. It's called Android Native. So and it works with Java, the programming language Java or Kotlin. So you use it to build Android app, but just Android apps that will run on your Android phones. Likewise, there's also like another infrastructure for iOS apps called Xcode. Xcode works with Swift, so it's used for building iOS apps, also apps for your smartwatch like Apple Watch, um, MacBook as well, like macOS as well. So that's another area. So I've mentioned two now. That's Android native, also iOS. Now there's also another framework called Flutter, and that's what I do. So Flutter is a cross-platform framework. And do what I mean. Cross-platform means that it serves these two platforms. It serves Android and iOS. So you're able to like code and to run on both Android and iOS. There's also another framework called React Native that does the same thing too. It's for cross-platform and it's able to run on Android and iOS. So there are different areas in mobile development. But if I'm to advise, I would say you should go for Flutter. And here's the reason. Well, not just Flutter or React Native, the cross-platform ones. And here's the reason. So um, most startups usually use these cross-platform frameworks to build their apps because they usually have like smaller budgets, so you're not able to spend much money because if you're building like separate Android apps and separate iOS apps, you need to hire different developers for Android, different developers for the iOS. It gets all served from the same backend. But if you're going to use Flutter or React Native, you only need developer and the person will build for both Android and iOS. So it helps startups to save more money. So that's the reason why I would advise if you're going to mobile development, I would advise you to either go for Flutter or React Native because they are cross-platform, and most startups are using those platforms. And since you want to eventually get jobs fast, I think that would be a very very wise choice. Just to go for Flutter or React Native. Yeah, then maybe later on you can now pivot to maybe native Android or iOS development. So that would be my advice. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Joseph. Hi, Favor, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us once again. So, yeah, just like I did for the other speaker, to with us your background, how you got into tech, why you chose front end development, and what your journey has been like.
Okay. Um. Okay. So since I was a kid, I've basically been into computers. It's not like one day I picked up my laptop and I was like, oh, I should go. That it's always something I've always liked. Is when I was young, and I've always liked to know how things work, how things how things basically work, right? How things basically work. It's part of the reasons why I studied engineering in school. So yeah, I think I grew up around computers like a lot. I think that's one of the many things that made me go into front end. But then again, I didn't really know much about coding anyway when I was growing up. But I just liked computers. Yes, I liked how computers worked. I liked computer science when in primary school, in secondary school, because I used to be really good at it. And I think there was this one time that my school took a few of us to, I think, Babcock, I was still in SS1 or something, for like a competition. That was like years ago. That was years ago. But yeah, things like that. I've been into computer stuffs ever since I was little. For front end, I guess I basically started being interested in coding mostly from looking at my elder brother. I think my brother inspired me. I would say my brother inspired me like a lot to get into coding. So I first initially started learning backend. You understand? I first started backend. I was learning. I think I learned. I went Java. I was learning a little bit of Java. Then I now went to. I was just learning. I didn't have like a real direction, so I was just learning random things. I tried to learn Kotlin. That was. I think that's for mobile. I tried learning Kotlin. I tried learning some little things, but I didn't really like it. I feel like it didn't really like speak to me. It didn't like really get to me. Oh yes, I also tried learning Python. And then backend developers will tell you that Python is one of the best languages and then it's even better than JavaScript and all of that, blah, blah. But like it's I didn't really like Python because of like I wanted to. I'm a visual person. I like to see okay what I'm building. I like to see it immediately. It's part of the reasons why I chose front end. So I wanted to see what I'm building immediately. I like to see it. I like designs. I like things that like are really attractive to me. Okay, if I do this particular thing, if I write this particular code, I need to see this thing in action. You understand? So that's part of the reasons why sorry, part of the reasons why I went into front end and I started learning HTML, I started learning CSS and then the likes. But then yeah, there are still going to be a lot of challenges. And then there will be times where as a front end developer you get into so many problems like oh you're trying to center a div and then it took so much time for me to even learn, oh, okay, this is how you are going to actually center a div. This is how you center a div. This is how you make sure, okay, you're using the right sizes for your text. This is how you're using the right font style and all those little things. And then, as usual, I think you already mentioned it, network in Nigeria is bad. So a lot of times when you'll be learning from somewhere, and maybe you're trying to read the documentation on a particular topic, you have those little issues. I think for me personally, the major issue I had, and I think a lot of the major issue that a lot of people have when being a developer is your laptop. I had a really bad laptop when I first started coding. It was really big issue that there were times where I literally had to borrow laptop from a friend. There was a month I remember that I had this gig somewhere, and then for a month I literally had to go across to my friend's house to borrow his laptop every single day. I will use it for a week, and then the weekend give him back, and then maybe during the week again I go and get it again, and then I was just working on it that way. I had laptop issues. I had light issues too. Light issues, and those things that are going to discourage you. Those are things that are going to let you down. But then it's still something that you have to just push through and push through. Yes, and it's really not easy because there are times where you'll be like, oh, you want to give up and all of that. And then it's just makes you it's sometimes you also something that things like that can also be something that will build you because you're always like, I'm already gotten to this particular point. Why am I giving up now? You need to keep fighting, right? And I think the last thing I'll say that really was a real block for me was the path, having the right path to having the right path to front end. Because front end is large. They'll just tell you, oh, okay, you're just building a website. No, it's large. There are a lot of niches in front end. There are a lot of things that you can learn in front end, different parts. There are some people that use HTML and CSS and they can use it to even paint Mona Lisa. If you go to YouTube and search Mona Lisa with HTML and CSS, you see videos on that. So they are just different niches that you need to learn. And I feel like when I started, I didn't have an idea of where I wanted to go. And and somebody mentioned at the beginning of this space that you need a mentor. And I had a mentor later on, and then he was basically guiding me on a lot of things. He was helping me to know, okay, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to learn, this is what I need to build. And then stuff like that really, really encouraged me. But there was one particular time where I wanted to completely give up on front end. And then he came, I remember he coming to come and visit me. And then he was like, he showed me like a couple of websites. I was like, doesn't this thing inspire you? Like, doesn't this inspire you to want to push? Doesn't it inspire you to want to keep going and all of that? And then just picked up my laptop, not immediately, but like picked up my laptop later on. I started learning, I started getting better again and again. You understand? So like those are the little things that I feel like you have to have, and then you just have to keep using to get better and better as a front end developer.
All right, thank you very much for that. Favor, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, thank you very much. While you were speaking, I just said to myself, just like Esther did, this is you subtly trying to sell, trying to sell your track or your skill. Thank you very much for the breakdown. I like the fact that you were also able to chip it in that front end development goes beyond just designing websites, which is so true. I thank you. So I would like you to do a deeper dive into that, just for just like it has already been done. We understand better now what mobile development entails, what backend development entails. So what actually, just beyond what people know generally about front end development, what sets you apart as a front end developer? We already know that yes, you make the sites look good, look appealing, but beyond that, would you say there's like extra, contribution that you bring to a project when someone says, I want to hire a front end developer? So, another thing I would like you to add to that is there are quite a number of people out there, just like Joseph said earlier, everybody wants good stuff. Everybody wants to get into tech. So as more people are, coming into tech, learning the skill or that, what would help a beginner, set themselves apart in front end development and help them to, attract more opportunities compared to the regular beginner in front end development. Did you get that?
Yeah, I could totally understand you. Okay, so like I said, there are different niches in front end, and like always, you always have to set yourself apart, and you always have to keep learning. One thing I like about front end is still, or I think basically like that's how life is. You have to keep learning. You always have to keep learning. You always have to keep researching and all that because front end doesn't just stay in one place. It's always improving. Because there was this one time in CSS where you'll be using, if you're trying to align like items from my left to right, you'll be using floats, and then Flexbox came, and then grid came, and then we saw how we can align items differently. You understand? So it's about improving yourself every single day. Okay, what is new in CSS? What is new in HTML? You understand? How do you get better from there? And then you start learning frameworks. You start learning frameworks. You start learning about Angular. You start learning about Vue. You start learning about React. You start learning about Next.js. And then you know things like server side, about client side. And then you just go deeper and deeper. And then I think you being someone that knows a lot of things will set you apart script. And then okay, maybe you don't know tailwind, okay, maybe you don't know TypeScript, and then you are just out there because a lot of people will know those things, and then you still have to know about headless CMS, a content and state content management tool. You still have to know about state management tools like Zoostand, like Redux, and all those things. So those little things I feel will be able to set you apart from people. Knowing tools, because there are a lot of tools out there. Is it material UI? So like those little things, I feel like knowing those things, trying to research on those things will set you apart because there are a lot of job descriptions where they'll be like, oh, do you know React 3JS? I mean, React 3JS is just basically for okay, you want to design a website that is 3D because designing a 3D website is different from designing a normal website. Or are you trying to create a Web3 website where you have to add a little bit of Rust Rust to your website, or maybe you add a little bit of, I think there's JavaScript for that too, yeah. But then adding a little bit of those knowledge to create a Web3 websites. So those things are very, very important. It depends on the particular, you just have to get those niches and stay on those niches and then become a master of those niches and set yourself apart. You understand? So that's basically you just make research on okay, these are the things that I need to learn, these are the things that I need to know. How do I set myself apart? This is something that I need to know. And then get communities. Yeah, I think getting a particular community, being in a particular community of front-end developers also helps. So I feel like that's like something that can help you grow better. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Favor. Am I audible, please?
Yes, you are.
Thank you very much. In this webinar, you've had speakers say so much, talk about APIs, talk about tools. Now, Favor has even brought in a whole dimension into it. And if you're just there wondering, how am I going to be able to learn all of this? This is the thing when you're just starting out, particularly if you don't have an idea of what maybe front end, mobile development, or back end development entails. You might be wondering how exactly you're going to cope, or if you're even going to understand it at all. The very good thing is you're going to start from the basics. That's one of the things that I think would really help you. I mean, for people who get into the program, for many people, they are more, they find these skills really endearing because they would hear, oh, there's money in tech, particularly in software engineering. But then most people still move away from it because they are wondering, how will I be able to cope in this field? What if I don't get it? What if it's too difficult for me? I mean, just like you've heard the speakers say this evening, there's going to be a lot of shege, and that's not peculiar to software engineering. It's across all tech tracks, right? And just like you've heard, it's just very important for you to be willing to commit to learn. I've seen people, and I'm being very honest. I mean, it's not even about being honest, it's everywhere. If you take a little scroll on this particular page that we're on right now, you'll see things that will help you prove what I'm trying to tell you. I've seen people move from being beginners to landing internships in 3 months, maybe a few weeks after their graduation, and they're already starting something. I mentioned earlier how one of our tutors, even more of them, will always come in. And do you know the beautiful thing? These tutors are always so excited to share because it's just like you're seeing the results of what you've been able to impart in an individual. So I'm telling you that it's very possible as long as you're willing to commit. What we have, we're going to share the whole curriculum and everything much more later in this application season. But once you're willing to commit to learn, once you're willing to not just learn what you're being taught in class, but also, do your own research, just like you've heard tonight, stretch yourself. Of course, you're going to understand. You're going to even be able to know the right questions to ask in class. You're going to know the right resources to get. You're going to know the right tools to use. And just as it has also been reiterated in the webinar, the place of community cannot be overemphasized. And one good thing, when we welcome our beginners to the cohort, one of the things they're always after is, well, I want a group where I can engage others. Of course, you're going to get that group. You're going to be able to meet people, not just from our current region, Nigeria, across Africa. This is an African program. So you'll not just be able to network with people within your area. You'll be able to, maybe if you're in Kenya, you can meet people from South Africa, you can meet people from Nigeria here, people from Ghana, Cameroon, across the continent. And of course, another thing I want to add, and that I would say is my absolute best part of the entire bootcamp, is the capstone project phase. And by the way, shout out to cohort 7 scholars, cohort 6 scholars rather. You guys had really, really, really nice projects during your capstone presentation. That's if any one of them is in here. Some of our students usually like to come in to listen into the webinars, and also shout out to you guys. And you need to see, I'm always so excited because I'm able to see that, okay, these people came in, they've been able, look at what they are able to do, right? And if they can do it, why can't you do it? People like Joseph, Esther, Favor, Akan, and Adefolari, they were once where you are, but look at where they are today. So as long as you're actually willing to put in the work, just like you've heard, you're definitely going to be able to achieve everything that you want to achieve with this skill, with this career, right? And of course, mentorship. Do we even have to start talking and talking and talking about that? You've already heard it from people who are already experts in your field. And of course, more importantly, it's also very important for you. There's money in tech, yes, everybody knows there's money in tech, but when you're just coming in, you should also be willing to not just learn, but also offer some services that help you to gain the experience that you need. I mean, all of these things, you're still, for people who eventually get into the boot camp, you're still going to learn all of these things. You're going to learn more. You're going to be able to engage tutors, ask them questions. There are people who are currently practicing, so they have everything you need, maybe almost everything you need. So, but then it's also very important to come in with the right mindset, the mindset to win, and the mindset to make the most of this opportunity if you're able to get the scholarship. So I'll say thank you once again to our speakers. Right now we'll start taking questions from the audience. I actually want us to address quite a number of questions tonight. We couldn't have one of our speakers join us. I'm not sure, probably a network issue, but we hope to have them come in maybe some other time. So, for those who have questions now, the host can start approving so that we can start getting these speakers to engage them. Thank you. Okay, hi Paul. I can see that you're a speaker already. You can go ahead to ask your question now, very quickly, please.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Can you
can.
hear me? Okay, so my question is like, if let's say like you want to become a business owner in the future or like own a like pharmaceutical company, because I'm a pharmacy student, like I'm finally aspiring to own a pharmaceutical company. Like, what is the best tech skill to learn that you can apply in your pharmaceutical like in the business sector? That kind of thing.
Okay, please mute your mic. I can't give a direct answer to that because it depends on what you're trying to achieve with the business. Usually when you have a business, of course you want more people to know about that business. So most of the time people might say they want to learn marketing, maybe digital marketing, or some people might want to say okay, they want to know how to maybe manage their teams. They might say okay, learn product management or learn product marketing or whichever. So, but then it still depends on the goal that you're trying to achieve with that business. You of course look into your business, look around, look at your competitors. Okay, what do you want to be your competitive advantage? What do you want to do better in this business? Um, most tech skills are usually, should I say, technical. So you can't say you just pick one and then it will be the most effective for your business, right? So it depends on the goals that you're trying to achieve. You can even pick more than one skill. I've seen people learn that just for them to be, able to um 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 just for them to get things that can actually help them to improve their businesses. So it depends on what you're trying to achieve with your business. But usually one could say maybe you might want to learn maybe in digital marketing that entails content marketing, different kinds of marketing to help you push out your business to more people to see. So yeah, that's it basically. Does anyone want to add to that? Any one of the speakers? All right, thank you. We can have NFT Guru now, if you can hear me.
Okay, good evening. See, my question now is for somebody who has no background in tech at all, like what is the right path to follow? Someone that has zero knowledge, what is the right path to follow for starters? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that question. For someone who is new to tech and they are looking for the right path to follow, the best thing you can do is to do a self assessment. One of the things that we are doing here in the webinar is to one of the reasons that we are here, that we're gathered here, is to help you understand what each of these skills entail, and for you to be able to look at yourself. Okay, where do I fit in any of this, and will I be able to push through to excel in this particular career? Is this something that I see myself doing for a very long time, right? So you have to do your self assessment, consider your strengths, your interests, the skills that you currently have. Maybe you're in one career right now and you're looking to try one you may be interested in. Just do your research, ensure that you gather enough information on the different career paths that we have in tech before making your decision. So I think Esther wanted to say something, so you can go ahead now.
No, you already answered him already. So I want to say what you were saying, but so there's no need.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you very much. Does Joseph or Fever want to add anything to that? Hi, Joseph. Favor, are you still here?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, can the person repeat the question? Sorry.
Okay, the person is basically asking, they're just starting out in tech and they're just trying to decide which skill to go for. They're not sure yet. So they're asking what can they do or which skill can they go for.
Okay. My best advice. I don't know. I'm the type of person that I feel like I should explore the field. I'm not saying you should like dive so deep into every single thing, but like try to like know what each particular skill is about. Like maybe like I did, like I went into backend first, and then after I did backend, I saw, oh, I didn't like this, and I tried front end, and then I liked front end. You know, so I feel like maybe you can dive into like different parts, or at least try to research and see, okay, maybe does this suit me? Does this feel like me? Do I feel comfortable doing this particular thing? And then yeah, that's how you decide. Okay, this is the path that I want to go into. That's how I feel you should go about it.
Thank you very much, Favor. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you very
Did
much.
you apply for the scholarship bootcamp?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, okay, great. One thing I'll just say is most likely the skill that you picked might be very similar to what you're interested in. You might not just know it yet. I'll just advise that you ensure that you don't miss any one of the webinars that we'll be hosting for the next 1 or 2 weeks. At some point you're definitely going to get that thing, that one skill that will give you this spark in your mind. I just tell you, okay, I think this is where I want to go, right? So I'll advise that you come in every day to join us, listen to the speakers, and okay, for you to know this aligns with me, I'm diving in. And just like Favor said, yes, that is very true. If you actually do not try something out, you might not really know if it's actually for you. So I think that's also another point that you might want to consider. Just do your research, come in for the webinars, ask questions most importantly, and yeah, you'll be fine. Thank you very much. Let's have Anne now. Hello, Anne. Are you there? Can you hear me, please? Can anyone hear me?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah.
I don't have a question. Thank you.
Okay, you do not have a question. Is that what you said?
Yes, please. I'm just here to learn. This is my first time attending, so just want to learn and listen. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. You can just remove her from being a speaker, please. Host. Okay, Jason, you can go ahead.
All right, hello, good evening. All right, my question is about specialization. I have a previous experience with web design, no code stuffs, no code websites, but I still really can't figure out where is the best path for me to move on because I applied for mobile development and at a point I was feeling like, okay, maybe I made a mistake or so I needed a good advice where was like the best place for me to focus on if I'm working on websites and apps?
Okay, I think Joseph and Favor should be able
Yeah.
to say one or two things about that.
Yeah, I
Thank
can
you.
I can answer that. Yeah. So you said you're from the no code background, so I'm guessing you probably used something like WordPress previously, maybe to build websites. Um so since you want to build websites and apps, I would also recommend I recommend Flutter because I mentioned previously that Flutter is um is a framework that helps you to build cross-platform applications that's on Android and iOS. But I also didn't add that Flutter also works like it's also for building apps that would run on web as well, like on your browser. So it's actually very robust. So with Flutter, you can literally build for any platform.
All right. Joseph, are you done? Okay. Joseph, are you done speaking, please?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Jason, did that answer your question?
Um, I was asking in the direction of what aspect of tech should I focus on? Front end, back end, mobile development? Like that's where my question is about.
Yeah, but you mentioned that you want to build websites and apps, right?
Yeah, I mean, okay, let me ask my question again. I'm sorry. That I have a previous experience with websites, no code, no background in codes, but I've tried it via freelancing and Shopify, WordPress, Wix, and all. But now the issue for me is I really don't know what area I should specialize on because I want to still work on website and app.
Okay, so I just answered your question. You said you want to focus on websites and app. So I'm telling you now that Flutter can help you build websites and app. So there are different like frameworks and infrastructures for building these things. But the advantage of using Flutter is that you can build the two of them just from one unit. You don't need to like learn different things. So that I'm recommending Flutter. There are other ones as well, but for me, Flutter is like the easiest for you to grasp easily. So that's why I'm saying that I'm recommending Flutter. So if you're interested in building websites and mobile apps, Flutter can help you do that. And it's very, very robust and easy to learn. That's the reason why I'm recommending. But if you are like asking the question that I think NF.
Okay, okay. I had to confirm if you were still speaking, Joseph, because I couldn't hear you at some point. But for your question, Jason, since you're saying you still want to be able to build mobile apps and still build your website, what I would advise is you could try mobile development out first. Just like Favor said earlier, you just might not really know if you're really interested in something until you try it out. I think something similar to what the picture you're painting is you might want to say you're interested in both front end and mobile development, but I think mobile development will still give you that leverage to be able to do both, right? Since you're still keen on building apps. So I would advise, firstly, listen to this webinar again in case you didn't join from the beginning. You might want to listen again to really get details about each of the tracks so you can actually see that, okay, this is what would suit what I am looking for. I know that right now we may not be talking about backend development at all, so we're looking at either front end or mobile development. So you might want to try one out before even going to the other. There's no problem in that. I've seen people move from studying backend to front end or even going back just to you know see which one suits them best, and they can even launch their career with both skills, right? So and eventually you can now niche down to a particular one that you want to now do a long-term thing in. So that's just what I'm going to say in response to that question. Did you get
Sorry,
that?
can I add something, Abisola?
Sure, please go ahead.
Yeah, so from the questions you're asking, so there's not really like there's no gun to your head like you must die there permanently. If you use that word. You can always like pivot to other areas. So like I started with Android native, then I moved to Flutter. You understand? So and different people in the industry, like they start with a particular like skill set, and maybe after like 1 year, maybe 2 years, they move to another one. So you don't have to like stay there. Maybe if your fear is that once you just start that one, you have to be there forever. No, that's not the way it works. Like because even if there are different frameworks or different skills in tech, they're actually very related. Like if you learn, like for example, if you learn Flutter, there are certain things you learn in Flutter that will be useful even in like front end, even back end. So they're all interrelated. So you don't have to like be scared as much. You just if you start learning this one, you pick this one, you have to like stay there forever. No. When you're learning it, you also find out that there are also some other useful things that you would learn there that you also use in other frameworks. So just do your research, make your pick, and you're good to go. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Joseph. I want to believe that that has answered your question, at least to a considerable extent, Jason. So, and also you can follow the steps that have been recommended, and I wish you the very best. Okay, let's have Obashola Taiwo now.
Hi everyone. Thanks for having me around. My name is Taiwo, and I am completely new to tech, like starting from scratch. I mean, I haven't started learning anything yet, but I'm trying to figure out which path to take because I'm really interested in UX and UI design because I love the idea of making things look good and easy to use. But I also keep hearing that front-end development says pays more than any other job opportunity. So at this point, I am a bit confused. So I just want to ask this question that should I go for UX UI design because it is easier? To me, it is easier and faster to learn. Or should I go straight into front end development because it pays better? And does one help with the other? So I don't know if it's possible for me to, you know, learn front end, back end, and UX UI design at maybe at the same time or without. I don't know. All I wanted to do right now is, have experience in those three, be able to, be a pro in those three. So, and I would really appreciate advice from anyone who's been in this position before. So, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Taiwo. Esther, do you have anything to say to that? Hi, Esther, are you there?
Sorry, I got
Okay, Favor.
distracted. I did not hear him clearly. Please, can someone else answer?
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Favor, I think you can.
Oh, okay. You are saying you want to go into front end because of the money. Is that your question? I'm not sure if that's your question.
Yes, absolutely. I have intention of going into UX UI designer because um I there's something about UX UI design that really draw my attention. So I love the idea of making things look good and easy to use. But people that are after money, everybody is looking for money here. So front end and back end really pays better than any other tech job. So I don't know if I can channel that energy. Though I am still new in all of these things, not that I have had any experiences or any idea on how these things have been done. So that's why I said I'm starting from scratch.
Okay. Well, not like I want to discourage you or whatever, but like if it's just basically just money you're after, it may take a while. Parts in tech basically you have to have patience and then you actually have to like know like a lot of things. Because like I think I said it earlier when I was trying to talk about my front end really is. Like you cannot just come outside now in 2026 and say, oh, you just know HTML or CSS. and then oh, you're ready to make money. Like the money that doesn't start because you just know HTML and CSS. You have to know a lot of things, meaning you actually have to like it. You have to like what you are doing. You have to be inside what you are doing. You have to really know. What do you say?
Hi,
Sorry for
hi
continuing. Can I
Taiwo.
say something?
Hi Taiwo. You can let him
I'm
finish, then you come up.
okay. That's fine.
So basically, you have to like know like all these things and actually have an idea before you can say, okay, you want to start making money. I'm not saying you cannot go with the goal of like making money, but like you are, like I said, you have to make sure that oh, okay, you are like at a particular level, and then okay, this is how I want to start. So you have to actually like what you are doing first before you start making money, because it can really discourage you. Front end will discourage you like a lot. And then okay, is it because okay, this thing discouraged me, now I'm not going to make money because I am being discouraged? You understand? So if money is your like 100% motivation, well, I don't know if it is like if you are patient enough for you to like get to that level. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can go ahead now, Taiwo.
All right. So I hear you, but I feel like passion is important at the same time. Likewise on money. So it has to be at equilibrium. Yeah. And I feel like we're all different people. So if I'm the kind of person that if I want to go into something, I'll just go in it full with my full chest and my full body. And whatever I want find myself doing, I'll just ensure I do it better. And I understand every bit of whatever I am learning. So I feel like it should be able to work for me. But it's fine. If it's about money, then it shouldn't work out. But if it's about passion and what I love doing, then you have a point. You have a point. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you very much to Favor. That was very good. That was a very good answer, actually. And I would say um many of these answers that you receive, right, they're relative. They might not exactly apply to what exactly you're facing or what exactly you want to hear, but it's the truth. Even if it's product design that you get into or UI UX, like you said, you're not going to just start making the money immediately you're into it. That's basically what Favor is trying to say. So whether it's back-end development, whether it's front-end development, whether it's UI UX design, you have to learn, know what you're doing, apply for the opportunities. They might not even come really early as you want them, but when the money eventually comes, of course, you're going to feel it. So it's basically saying you, of course, also need to know that you need to be passionate about what you're doing. I know that many times people want to go after the money as much as we want to be, very maybe humble about it or something. Of course, people are the beginner level. They got to a point before they started making the kind of money they want. And before you can get to that point, you would need grit. You would need like every, because at some point you might just want to switch to something else that will make you, you know, money much more quickly. So that's basically the point. So you also need that passion. You need to be very interested in what you're doing. If you're not interested, the whole thing will die off quickly, and you just want to switch to something else. So that's basically it. Whether it's front end, whether it's UI UX, there are several opportunities for you to make the money that you want, for you to have a very fulfilling career. At the end of the day, it's still on you to make your decision. Nobody's going to say this is the right thing, this is the best one for you. You have to make that decision by yourself. Yeah, thank you very much once again, Favor. Thank you, Taiwo, for coming up. So let's have Richard go now. Hi, Richard. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Good
Yeah,
evening.
you can ask your question.
Thanks for this opportunity. So, my question goes by what is the minimum skill set to get my first tech job or freelance gig?
Let me give you answer. I don't answer.
What did you say, Favor?
No, sorry. I was talking. I was talking to somebody.
All right, that's fine. Okay, I have an answer to this, but I'll just leave the speakers to do that honor. So, Esther, did you get that question? Joseph, did you get the question? Hi, Esther, Joseph, are you there? Okay, Favor, do you want to answer the question? Wait, am I still audible? Please, can anyone still hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Or should I come again, ma'am?
All right, thank. I got your question
Okay.
perfectly. Probably they're engaged with something else. Okay, making money in tech. Oh my god, how do I even put
And
this?
I have another
I can't
question.
give you. Yeah, let me just say this. I can't give you a definite answer. I can't say it will take you 2 months, 3 months, maybe 6 months, a year. Um, Firstly, I'll just say you have to learn before you can earn, and you have to, level or get to a level before you can say you even want to start applying for opportunities that will bring that money in. Like I mentioned while I was speaking earlier, usually I've seen, particularly in software engineering, software development generally, when people are done with the boot camp, because we have capstone project, they build their own personal projects, they work on things with their team members, they do cross team stuff that just gives them that prior experience that can help them to get into the market. So with that, they're able to apply for internships, they're able to apply for maybe jobs. I've seen people who are, God help them, they're lucky enough to land very good jobs. I've seen even guys outside software development, maybe data analysis, data science, technical writing, virtual assistant, so many of those skills. They apply, they get internships, they start making their money. But I need you to understand that it's progressive, right? It's progressive. You might not really hit that huge money in the beginning, but as you move up in your career, as you get more opportunities, you're definitely going to make that kind of money that you're looking for. So it's really dependent on, another thing is dependent on your level of commitment, how much you're willing to push yourself into learning all that you can and practicing, right? People are not going to just hand you their work to do if you can't prove yourself. So it's dependent on you, depending on the kind of training that you receive. And of course, here we offer the very best. I can take that anywhere. We offer the very best. So after you're given the very best, what do you do with it? So it's what you do with it that will now determine, okay, the kinds of opportunities that you attract to make the kind of money that you're looking for. Your second question.
Yes, ma'am. Um, is mobile development, is it worth it in 2026 compared to web development?
Okay. I don't know. I actually want the speakers themselves to answer these questions. But I think we're already spending quite a lot of time on the webinar already. Joseph, are you there? Okay. I'm just going to say this. Um, each skill is worth it. Each skill has okay. Each skill has mad opportunities. Like you've already heard, every
Ma?
single speaker that you've heard is excelling in their careers. Okay, Joseph wants to come up now.
So I
Hi,
want to say I didn't
Joseph.
get
Do
the
you want to
question.
come up now? Yeah, it was basically asking whether mobile development is worth it in 2026 compared to web development.
Yes, definitely. Can you hear me? Yeah. So I wouldn't lie. As at 2020, I think there was really like, it was very noticeable globally that there was a hike in remote jobs and all of that because of the lockdown. So many companies used that to adapt so that they were like people getting dozens of job offers because companies needed that. But I think a few years down the line, to be honest, the that demand has reduced. Okay, so it's actually fluctuates. It's not like always constant that is serious demand. But I can assure you that there's always demand for mobile development. If you check on LinkedIn, you see that there are always like roles like opening for mobile development. And from my experience, I may be wrong, but from my experience, I've seen for like the same kind of roles in comparison with web development, mobile developers get paid more than web developers. Or yeah, if you are concerned about maybe the pay, like the salary range for mobile development, then no, that's not a problem. From my experience so far, it's even more than the web developers. So on that front, you're good. And does that answer your question?
All right. Hi, Richard. Does that answer your
Yes, ma'am.
question?
Because I have a
I'm sure
lucrative
it does.
idea, like in tech, that is going to change the world right now. So I'm thinking of a particular tech field I could engage in, just to actually my the idea I have is kind of, it's not free.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Richard, and thank you very much, Joseph, for that answer. I didn't want to just come right out to say this is better than that because it depends. It depends. There are senior front end developers, senior engineers that would of course be earning more than someone who just starting out or a mid level mobile developer. So these things vary. As long as you're just willing to be committed to the skill that you've chosen, you have access to the opportunities, apply for them, and get the money that you're after. And of course, for the idea that you said you have, I'm sure that you've heard quite a lot tonight about the different skills in software development, and you already know which path you're going for. I wish you the very best on that.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I have to say, we're already spending a lot of time on the webinar tonight, so I'll only be able to take one more question, and that will be it. So I'll have to go with. I'm actually trying to decide. I'll have to go with digital clean Dave now. So that will be the last question for tonight, and then yeah, we'll round things up. Thank you very much.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Please ask your question very
Okay.
quickly.
My question is that I need an advice. Like, I'm a software engineering student. So when I studied scholarship about the tech crush, so I'm thinking about picking something, but I don't know like the particular thing I'm going to follow. I'm new into tech, like new 100% new. I don't have any knowledge, but I just register for a software engineering class.
Okay, which of the software engineering skills did you apply for?
It's just like NIT. I just apply. I just paid for 2 years. This thing, software engineering, and I have to focus on full stack.
Did you apply for the bootcamp, this Tech African Scholarship Bootcamp?
Yeah, I did applied for AI automation.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm asking, is that a nice one to pick as a software engineer?
it's a nice one. These questions are so direct and very interesting. I mean, AI is okay. we are in software engineering now. So if I say AI is the future, I don't want you guys to come after me.
Mhm.
So I mean, AI automation is a very good skill. At the end of the day, still dependent on you, dependent on what your interests really lie in. And since you want you to complement what you currently do, I think it's great. Yeah. So I think that will be all for tonight. That's all the questions that we can take. We have to round things up now. But before we go, I just want to have okay, Joseph is the only speaker I have here. I just want to ask Joseph, so far in your career, what would you say being in tech has done for you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So I would say a lot actually. So one thing I really love about working in tech is the option to work remotely. So there's this freedom. Because I travel a lot, so I can be in maybe Lagos today, then maybe 2 weeks down the line, I can be in another state, and I'm still working. So that flexibility has really helped me. Also, networking, like meeting, getting to work with like professionals from other countries, other races, like just networking and like collaborating with people. So I think it's really a fun ride. Um, and one other benefit that people often talk about, but I can't just downplay it, is the fact that as a Nigerian earning in FX, that's USD, it's actually like a huge benefit. As a young person, the minimum wage right now in Nigeria is like 70K. But if you can just earn even as little as $500, that's already like, I don't know, like maybe 800, 900K. So that's like one very big benefit that comes with working remotely. So you don't get paid according to your country's, minimum wage. So that's one very huge benefit. So I can tell you that's actually very worth it, as long as you're able to like just be resilient and put in the work. You can actually make it very, very big in tech. So yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Joseph. Before I continue, can the host please check the requests? Akan said he has been trying to join in. Please check so we can approve so he can come up to speak before we round things up. Esther too. Esther said she has been requesting to speak. Kindly grant their requests. Okay, great. Akan is back. Thank you very much for coming back in. It's great to have you here again. So we're just about rounding things up. I just want to hear from you, just like we've heard Joseph share now. What would you say being
Oh, okay. Um, Being in tech has done quite a lot for me. I'm not even going to lie. It has done so much in terms of how do I, where do I even start from? Okay, I'll just keep it brief because we're rounding up. But I've met people, very important people. Um, I met great with international people, and then even the great minds building crazy things here in this country. I've also had the opportunity to, let's say, add high profile net worth people to my network. Tech has been able to do that for me, right? I've met with international speakers. I have some of them as friends. I mean, it's endless. Um, I've been able to also grow, most importantly, um, because tech has given me a different perspective to how a lot of things work. It changes the way I think, even in my day to day, like my normal activities. I'm not just thinking mediocre. I'm thinking problem like a problem solver, really, because that's literally what I do every day, solving one problem or the other, right? So it changes the way I think about things, changes so much. I've met, like I mentioned, I met a lot of interesting people. I think network is one of the things that I'm really grateful for. To be able to know and be in the same space with very important people, like my mentor and even some of his friends, right? Through him, I've gotten access to, a lot of people that on a normal day I would not get to meet, right? The events I've been to, I've also been able to network with very, very important individuals, right? And one of the things that I don't think a lot of people see is tech has helped me live comfortably to a very large extent. I'm grateful to I'm grateful to tech. Joseph can relate to what I'm saying. Because trust me, the struggle is hard. I remember my dad mentioning the pay for a graduate trainee in his company, and I was like, yeah, I can't even remember the last time. I'm sorry, it's not a shade to any other profession or anything, but it shows you that let's say if you follow the right steps and you are really valuable, you can earn as high as you want, right? Really, you can earn as high as you want. It just depends on how much value you are willing to put in and positioning yourself for the right opportunity. Honestly, so tech has helped me live a good, comfortable life so far. And then I think there's one thing, there's something I'm missing. Let's see. Yeah. One thing I'm also grateful to tech for is the opportunity to mentor other people. Mentoring is not something I've always been open to doing to other people, but after receiving mentorship, trust me, I think I that changed the way I viewed mentorship, right? And it just made me really care more about people and want to help people, rise as fast as I've been able to rise as well, and help, let's say, navigate waters, mistakes, and all those things, right? So yeah, and lead people, mentor people as much as I can is something I think tech has brought my way. So yeah, I think I'll just wrap it up there.
Thank you so much for that, Akan. Esther, we can have you now.
All right. They have said everything basically, but I'm just going to add to it. So, tech is a leverage. How do I mean? There are some places that I could not, or I wouldn't have gotten to that point without tech. So, tech has put me in positions where I can sit with people and discuss with people that I know that okay, by default we're not supposed to be speaking, but because of tech, that's giving me that leverage to do so. And secondly, I'm an introvert. You barely see me outside. So because of tech, I have the opportunity to work remotely. So there's opportunity for those that are introvert that don't want to actually go out to do something. Not like we don't want to go out, we just prefer the comfort of our home, our workspace and everything. So tech has helped me gain leverage and also comfortability. I can work at the comfort of my home, attend meetings when I can, work till either 3 a.m. and decide to sleep during the day and work at night. So tech is just flexible. And also you can build, I think someone made mention of something about trying to own a pharmacy or something. You can always become an entrepreneur with tech. Think of any solution, build up on it. There is no new idea. Yes, we are aware of that. But you can build up an existing idea, make it your own, pitch it and push it. And that is actually you can get the title CEO, CTO and whatnot, co-founder, founder. Tech is a leverage. Make use of it. Now that you have the opportunity, I will advise you to grab it and make use of it very, very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I have to be very honest. This is one of the sessions I've really enjoyed in a very long time. Thank you so much, and that's all thanks to our incredible speakers. Um, we do appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us. Akan actually had to leave a while ago to attend to something, and he was still able to join. I mean, that actually proves what he was saying about how he's passionate about helping others rise. I hope that for people here who are going to get into the boot camp, get the opportunity, learn, and get to this point, you also be willing to pour into others as they are doing now. They're spending time, they're spending resources to be here to share their experience, get you motivated for this journey. And I think they deserve, give them that applause. Just thank you very much to our speakers. We really had a very insightful session tonight, a very interesting one. I wish that Akan was here when people were asking questions about money. I'm very sure when you were talking about how tech has made you comfortable, you're thankful to tech. Some people here would just be happy that thank God. Oh. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Of course, apart from the network glitches, I was saying that I enjoyed tonight's webinar. And yeah, thank you very much to every one of our speakers for showing up tonight. And to everyone in the audience, I believe that you've been able to gain so much from the session tonight, and it doesn't end here. Ensure that after this whole thing, tonight, tomorrow, sit with it. You can listen again if you want to, so that you can get each point from the speakers to help you really make the best decision for this career path that you've chosen. And of course, for everyone who applied for the scholarship, as I would always say, it's very important for you to check your mails, or that you check your email to join it, both Telegram and the WhatsApp communities. That's how you get important updates about this application season. And of course, it's about to be a very interesting one, because we're going to be having more of these sessions. This, it doesn't end here. People always ask, we have more webinars coming up, and it will address each of the skills that we have on the application page. Not to worry about that. So ensure that you join us every day, as we will be picking each of these skills and having experts coming to discuss them. So thank you once again to everyone for coming in. Thank you, a very big thank you once again to our speakers. We appreciate and value you. And yeah, and of course, I wish everyone the very best. We'll be having another session tomorrow. Of course, I'm not going to tell you the tracks that we have coming up. You can come in to get that information. So yeah, I wish everyone a very good night, and I look forward to speaking with you all again tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.